Yo, dudes, what's going on with y'all? So Audible suggested the story to me, the Hypnotist love story. I genuinely have no idea what this is about. It seems like a dime store romance novel, but so did Heart Attack Club, and that ended up actually being pretty good. Before we delve in, I have one retroactive nitpick. This story is called The Hypnotist's Love Story, even though the main character isn't actually a hypnotist, she's a hypnotherapist. Normally, I wouldn't harp on about this, but the book itself makes a point of differentiating the two. This is being done because the main antagonist thinks the phrase quite a few times, but that doesn't keep it from being a dumb. So, the novel starts off with what I thought was a detailed defense of therapy from the author. You know, you're really in control the whole time, it's just a trance state and all that. But actually, this is the main character defending her position to us as the reader, which is very odd and extremely jarring. So, Ellen, our protagonist, is on a date with a single dad named Patrick, who tells her that he needs to say something important. She spends several long minutes going over the million-odd excuses that will inevitably mean she has to break up with him, and goes through a long thought process about how she never really liked him all that much, and she always hated the name Patrick in the first place. Keep a hold of that, it'll be important later. Anyway, he comes back and announces that his ex-girlfriend is stalking him, and Ellen instantly goes from, I didn't really like him in the first place, to I am in love with him, when she realizes that his baggage is actually more interesting than horrifying. Apparently. Now, don't get me wrong, having a stalker is better than being a killer or something like that, but it's still something that really should be dealt with. But Ellen seems to view it as an adventure or possibly something causing a sexual thrill, which comes off as a touch condescending in my eyes. Don't get me wrong, there certainly are women like this, but lady, you're a hypnotherapist. You should realize that there are very real and present dangers with stalkers. Although, truth be told, both characters are actually a little brought down. So I don't necessarily get the sense that this book is written by a woman hater or a man hater, just someone who wanted to write about the psychology of stalking and didn't care much about the story surrounding it. Anyway, they bang and start dating more seriously, and Ellen falls in love with Patrick, and even loves his name. For those who were paying attention earlier, you'll remember why this made me roll my eyes. Then we get a chapter from the stalker's point of view, and this happens periodically, and it turns out that the stalker is a client, which I found really interesting. She doesn't believe in hypnotherapy and is just trying to check out who this bitch is that's moving in on her turf, but it's a nice little switch. Hey, even if a book is being stupid, I'm not going to throw out what books are well done. What is extremely odd is that the therapist story is told from third person, whereas the stalker's chapters are told from first person. And it makes the book feel really creepy in a way you don't want a book to feel really creepy. Also, the stalker's name is Saskia, which just made me think of Naruto. Anyway, throughout Ellen and Patrick's relationship, she keeps pressing Patrick about Sasuke, whom he used to date and is now a stalker, even though Patrick made it repeatedly clear that he doesn't want to talk about it, and would sooner forget the whole thing. This is actually very irritating. I get wanting to uncover the mystery, I get wanting to know, but there's a point when the feelings of a person you're dating really should take precedent over the curiosity. Anyway, we keep saying things from Sasuke's point of view, and things get weirdly deep in understanding. And I'm not sure if that's a result of research or imagination, but it actually does do some good towards making the villain sympathetic without excusing his actions. So, well done there. Time moves on, he goes swimming, and in that seems to get over Patrick all at once. Which is like, okay, sure, book if you say so. Then Sasuke goes to visit Patrick's mother just to happen to interrupt a dinner where Patrick and Ellen are both meeting his parents for the first time. This is more than a little convenient, but also like, why would you visit your ex's parents? I would never ever do that. And I know that the stalker is supposed to have a weird view on things, but this is one that just makes absolutely zero sense to me. Ellen discovers that she's preggers, and then during a romantic getaway, she realizes that Sasuke is one of her clients. This is what weirdly probably should be the climax of the book, but we're still at the halfway point, which makes me really nervous. Anyway, Sasuke keeps upping the stalking, and for some reason that is never made clear, they don't just call the police. Like, it's repeatedly suggested that they should, and they just don't. After they get engaged, the pair of them quickly start grating on one another, and instead of talking it out like adults, they both clam up and say nothing and poison the relationship. Of course, everything blows up, and they end up shouting at one another, and things go to shit. Almost like whirlwind romances built on sex have some difficulty working out. Look, there's not no relationship here, it's just, I don't know, maybe it's just as a Christian this annoys me, but it does annoy me the way this relationship works out. Anyway, time moves on, and Sasuke breaks into Ellen's house and accidentally breaks the child's arm, which causes him to hit rock bottom. Then there's a few more hours of a sappy recovery, and then a life is grand ending. So why does this mostly piss me off? Well, for one, the stalking aspect is the only one that actually has any depth and complexity. Everyone else's issues are ignored, or even worse, they're addressed and then pushed aside. The romance falls flat, and the book is far too long for the meager points it's attempting to make. My personal score is 2.5 out of 10. There is some interesting stuff in here, but it's really not worth the ache. So let's go ahead and take a peek at that bingo card. Honestly, I'm more impressed than anything that we didn't hit bingo. But, well, it is what it is. Anyway, that's all for this time. So if you have something else you want me to review, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know. Until next time, drink plenty of water, tell your parents that you love them, and stroke your mustache at night.